everyone, Joy here. I'm back with the 6 Minimalist home tour. I've actually put away some of the colder weather clothes. So my home is actually looking slightly more clean now. You guys already know I don't always show my home when it's at a best condition, right? I don't really postpone recording a home tour just because I haven't done a deep clean or anything like that. I said this multiple times, but it's never possible to be perfect at everything in every way all the time. So I've actually accepted that I will never be perfect, whether it's housekeeping or my career, my health, my looks, my relationships, the exact amount of clothes and things that I'm going to keep. It will simply never be perfect. Why? Because we are not perfect. We're constantly changing, we're constantly developing. And on that note, I wanted to talk about things like decluttering. One of the reasons why people struggle with decluttering, including me when I say people, is because there's this concept of sunk costs, right? Maybe you paid a little bit too much for an item and it simply wasn't worth the money. Maybe it was too much of a upkeep. It was costing you more than it was providing you value. I had a over $400 dress that was a gift to me, and that dress required constant, basically I had to take it to dry cleaning, and I simply didn't have time or even money to be put into that, And here's the thing, if you cannot afford a certain lifestyle, if you cannot afford a certain object, holding on to it is probably being a disservice not only to yourself, but for that object as well, because you cannot afford it, right? Keeping up with the Joneses. And if your purpose in life and your goals do not particularly align with, or it doesn't really allow you to live a certain lifestyle right now, you really shouldn't be pursuing it right now because you cannot afford it. Of course, there's another option, right? Holding on to an item and not really wearing it until you can properly take care of the item. Again, there's really no clear answers, but there is clear sort of basic philosophy, the simple truths in life, which is you have to prioritize and you can never be perfect. So you have to pick and choose, and everybody's choices, the right choices, is going to look different depending on the goal and what steps you're planning to take to get there. Just because you have a same goal, right? Maybe your goal is to, open a salon, doesn't mean you're going to take the same path to get there. Because for some people, they need more experience. They feel more secure if they work for a certain brand, a certain company for a certain amount of time before they're ready. And whereas with some other people, you just have to make it happen and you have to feel the pain. You just have to do it for yourself to see instead of learning from other people. And there's, neither option is bad or good. It just means you kind of instinctively know what path it is that you need to take to feel secure to get to where you need to go. And no one can really do that for you. That's why it's so important to stay in touch with yourself. Intuition. I know, being intuition, these kind of things maybe are sort of made fun of, whatever, because a lot of times they're seen as like feminine qualities, which I don't think it's a feminine quality. I think everybody has it. But intuition is very important because, don't discredit the life that you've lived. From the time you were born up to this point, you had many different experiences in your life. Maybe you learned how people react to you depending on how you behave. And you sort of realize your limits in certain areas, and you sort of realize that you're actually quite talented and capable in certain areas than others. So a lot of us sort of do know our strength. It's just that we're so trained to kind of trying to fit ourselves into a mold that other people have given us. It is normal to be educated. It is normal to take advice from other people and sort of figure out what you're good at. But, after a certain period of time, you do have to take that risk. You do have to be like, actually, despite of what I've been taught, I think I would be very good at this area. Or despite what I've been told that I'm supposed to be good at, I feel like this is not my path. You do have to make the decision at one point, and that is, taking accountability and being honest with yourself about what it is that you want and what it is that you don't want. Same thing with keeping an object or decluttering an object. Same thing with keeping a relationship or decluttering a relationship. It's all in the same bracket. Sometimes the right choice is to keep certain relationships, certain items, and see if you can evolve with them and see if they will evolve to finally provide value. And sometimes the only thing certain relationships or certain objects teach you is exactly what you don't want. what they give you is actually pain, and you realize this is definitely something I don't want to keep in my life. It's simply not worth it. It doesn't align with my goals. It doesn't align with how I want to see myself, how I want to evolve as a human being in the future. Sometimes we can expedite this process by being receptive of the advice coming from people that we respect, that we trust. Or sometimes we just simply have to learn it by doing it ourselves. On my channel, I try to eliminate the shame behind making mistakes, because sometimes you just have to make them to know what it is that you want and you don't want. And it doesn't have to define who you are. It could just be part of the tools that you've developed. It helped add to your intuition because you learn from experience. And you kind of cleared up this dark cloud and figured out, oh, this is something I definitely don't want, or oh wow, this is something that really aligns with what it is that I want. And one of the reasons why I can talk so much about this topic and on this issue is because I am definitely clearly an overthinker, and I've definitely thought about these things. I observe, and most of my advice are coming from experience or books or advice from people that I respect, or certain aspect of them that I respect. Again, you do not have to copy and follow someone blindly. In fact, I advise against it. You don't have to, follow my advice perfectly. The type of advice that I try to give is very much customizable for each individual. I try not to be overbearing. I think when I was younger, I was very much like, hey, this is the solution. But I realized not everybody has the same strengths or weaknesses as I do. And it'll be a little bit silly for me to expect them to have the same results by behaving exactly like me. Just because it worked for me doesn't mean it works for somebody else, so on and so forth. Another thing that I also learned is there's a certain level of anxiety, I admit, when you have to make a decision, right? Especially if it's like a very harsh one. It's like, should I finally declutter this expensive item? Should I finally leave this relationship? Because I do see some value in it. Am I a cold person? Do I not have heart if I leave this relationship, this object, whatever? In that case, I learned, again, the art of sort of waiting and watching when I'm not ready. I'm not forcing myself. This is another thing, I believe happy people create more value for other people, and they add to other people's happiness. So I guard my happiness, not by telling myself to be happy, but by making decisions that I know align with who I am and my values and what I want for my future intuitively. And if I see that there are certain objects or certain relationships that do not sort of fit in with my vision right now, but I'm not ready to make drastic changes right now, one of the very first things that I do is set an intention to observe this thing and set an intention to fix this eventually. You don't even have to do it right now. As I said before, if you have a bunch of stuff, maybe you hoard a lot of stuff and your home is a super mess, but you are so scared to get rid of any item that you have right now, that's okay. But what I will invite you to do right now, without taking any action, is just set an intention up here and in here to be like, something has to change and I want to change. And what this does is it sort of rewires your brain and your mind frame to look for solutions, way more so than not setting any intentions at all. I think this also goes to like even beating addictions and stuff like that, right? You do have to set an intention to want to change even before you take any action. Just as how starting a YouTube for me, I had to set the intention to be like, I would love to start a channel someday. And this was years ago, before I even did anything. And then, when I was ready, I was taking small steps to get here. And that's actually really the most important part, because again, no one can really give you solutions, because deep inside, if you're in touch with your intuition, you know what steps you need to take to get there. And even if you don't know, you kind of have a general sense of what feels right for you as you search for solutions. And this is something that I would love to recommend to y'all. My Texans coming out is something that I recommend to you guys, to you people, is to set the intention to change any aspect of your life, not just decluttering, and then take your time. And if you don't want to take your time, you want to move things fast, and that's how you learn, that's okay too. Again, I told you, we are all on a spectrum, basically a rainbow. Some of us learn by doing and making mistakes. Some of us have to repeat the same mistakes over and over and over again before we learn anything. Some of us are very pain adverse, so we would much rather have someone tell us what to do. In that case, you have to find someone that you trust, that you believe can give you good advice on what to do, and follow them. And that is okay. There's really literally nothing wrong with following advice from people that you feel like are living the life that you want. And this is something that I want to talk about for this week. And without further ado, let's start this week's Minimalist Home Tour. Let's go. Hello, welcome to my Minimalist Home Tour. As you can see, this is my minimalist room, slash basically everything in my house. I'm actually gonna move this over here. That was for the screenshot. But yes, you can see my laundry's hanging, and I've just washed my blanket, and I'm also washing my bedding in the washer right now. And my laundry just finished when I finished recording like the beginning part of this tour. But as you can see, I actually dry my floor mattress cover on the floor just like this. I only do this after cleaning my floor. So I have to be honest, my home was not this clean. My floor had obviously my hair. So yeah, I did the floor cleaning first. And then I've done my laundry so I can actually put them on the floor. I've got my foldable table here, of course. And over here, it's kind of like my closet slash my, obviously, fridge area. You can't really see it from this angle, but over here you can see my suitcase. And I've actually decluttered all my colder season clothes, like basically like thicker coats and jackets and thick pants, winter clothes. Essentially, I put them away in my suitcase. So these are my current in-season clothes. Of course, I've got towel there and stuff like that. I'll include a clip of what I've actually put away for the winter. And up here, you can see kind of like the remnants of my mess. But like this is like a work towel. And you can see I've got like a bunch of documents back there. Those are actually my surveys for one of my research papers. And these are like things I made for my students for their project. So you can see my home is a super mess, but you know, as usual, like underwear and stuff goes in here, even my belt. And of course, I'm still not taking out my food trash. Can you believe this? I've been so overwhelmed. You can actually tell. And I've got all these frozen vegetables that I haven't cooked yet. But since they're frozen, they can just kind of be kept in there. And in here, of course, nothing much. I do need to get a new filter for my Brita. I actually cleaned my Brita bottle because it was kind of getting grimy. But you can see, you know, I've not stayed too updated on my home. And of course, here's a bag that sometimes hangs here, sometimes not. But this is where I keep like clean, dry laundry that I don't feel like folding away and putting away yet. So that way, like they don't have to be on the floor. But I you know, as I said before, sometimes my clothes are on the floor because sometimes I would have taken like all my bags to put the work towels and take them to work. So it really depends, you know. But yeah, so over here you can see in my bathroom there's shampoo and conditioner on the floor. Of course, I need a new cleansing foam. I actually need a bunch of stuff. I need to get a drainage cleaner, which is kind of like my regular expense at this point. My drain gets clogged up super easily. Don't ask me why. I've got a new body lotion, which, you know, I'm very happy about. Over here, nothing much, you know, toothbrush, toothpaste. You know, I've got a new toothpaste up there. Wait, actually, somewhere in here. I just got it. I don't even remember where I put it. Oh, I think it's back here. And of course, my toner, which is, you know, running out slowly but surely. I'm very happy. One thing I do is I actually don't try to get something so bulky at a time. I like to like use up whatever product I have and kind of like experiment with different products if I have to. Only because I have very sensitive skin, and I notice if I switch up like certain products, like my skin responds better instead of using the same product all the time. I don't know why. Maybe because my body gets used to it, so it stops doing what it's supposed to. But that one was a gift, and that's actually kind of a decent toner, so it's not really given me any trouble so far, which I'm very happy about. But yeah, that's basically everything in here. I do need to get more feminine hygiene products as well. I talked about it in last week's home tour basically. But yeah, I need some new ones because I'm still, you know, I'm still bleeding. And you know, of course, over here I just hang a bunch of stuff. I kept this hoodie, although that's like for colder weather, because you know how it is. Sometimes in summer people have their AC full on, and I do need like a jacket for that. And here you can see an actual person lives there because there's a pizza box. I did order in some pizza. So you know, I need to throw that out. And of course, I've got my shoes here, those boots. I don't think I'll be wearing anymore very soon because the weather is getting quite hot. That's for colder season. I've got my kind of like colder weather loafer. You can see that they're kind of like velvety and thick. So these two I've been wearing a lot more. And of course the sandals will be kind of a staple unless I'm working during summer times. And of course, my little kitchenette here. I've done my dishes. Thanks to you guys. I do need a new scrubber and a dish soap. That's actually a mold killer because it actually killed some mold in here. One thing I wanted to tell you is usually when I'm done after using the dish scrubber for a while, I will do kind of like a deeper-ish kitchen clean because, you know, sometimes they'll get mold in there. I'll use like kind of the scrubber and mold spray basically to clean my kitchen area. I do this maybe every month or so, but I should probably do it more often, or every 2 or 3 months. And I throw that out and I get a new one, so that way I'm using it as a cleaning tool. I don't clean my kitchen all the time, every time, because again, you know, I'm not a professional homekeeper. Nobody's paying me for that. So I do basically the bare minimum to get by, and it's just acceptable for me because it's just me living here. Of course, there's like trash in here. I do need to get more laundry detergent as well. So today will be like one of those days where I make small but essential purchases, so on and so forth. And we'll move up here. My kitchen cabinet, of course, there's a bunch of miscellaneous items, everything like noodles, board game, packaged rice, even a pen and paper and so on and so forth. And of course up here, just my little mannequin head and more toilet paper. And that's really it, y'all. That's the home tour for this week, and let's just go to the outro. So that was my home tour for this week. I hope y'all liked it. If you liked it, please like and subscribe, and I'll catch y'all next time with more content. Bye! Mwah.